original number you are thinking of, we are squaring it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so,
And so we wanna prove that x squared is equal to the two borders, the product of the two borders minus one.
Right.
So x minus one would be that border to the left, the
right,
one
and then
that's one
x
less.
plus
and
one
x
would be the
border.
next part.
Oh, I get this so far.
And x plus one would be the one that's one greater. Okay, now, the pattern we saw was that the product of that plus one equals x squared.
Oh my
Correct.
God. Oh my God. That's too much for me. I don't know what you just did there.
Why?
She's just being
Oh,
devil's advocate.
these guys don't know me yet.
Yeah, she's just
Oh.
messing with you.
Oh.
She's being
Really?
like a kid,
I was
like a
oh,
kid.
wow.
Wait a minute, why are you adding one to it? I thought we subtracted one.
That was so the first part of the second story.
She's
Okay,
giving it right
there's
back
the
to you.
product of the two limits. So let's think of our 3, 4, and 5. If 4 is our x, that's 16. When we multiply
Okay.
the two limits, the 5, that's 15. 15 happens, oh, I'm sorry, it should be plus 1. We want to add 1 to
Okay.
get to the x
To
squared.
make them equal, I get it. A little thing to keep in mind when we're using symbolism, sometimes we want to jump back to a numeric example to help us remember what those symbols represent.
So it should be x squared minus one and then x squared plus one?
No. It's just x minus 1 times x plus 1. And then we're going to add 1 to that product to make it equal to the x squared.
But what you have in mind could work. It's a little different approach. Let's hang on to it for just a minute.
Should we say what X represents?
It says,
Any number.
it says select
Or
any
should we
number and then
should we
square it.
state that? Kind of getting them into the format of defining what the
Couldn't
variable
hurt,
is.
would it? Couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt. Any real number?
I didn't
Yeah.
follow the directions right.
Well, your reasoning though is right on the money.
I know, but this is why it's good to talk it out, because what I did is I selected a number and then I squared it, and I took the squared number as my original number, and I took one less and one greater, so that
Oh.
didn't make sense to me,
No.
because that should have been
Yes.
x squared minus one and x squared plus one.
Oh, that would
So
totally
the
mess it up.
directions could have been clearer had I said, pick a number and we'll call this forever after your original number.
Well, you could
Sure.
say your original
Or I
number.
could have just reread it like I did and persevered through the problem.
What if, I'll let you go in a minute.
Okay.
But what if we followed that idea that Tammy came up with? What if we wrote x squared minus 1? Then how could we build an equation out of that idea? I just have a feeling that could be very, what does that?
So she did x squared minus one and she did x squared plus one?
No.
No?
I don't-
Yes.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
she's saying
Yeah.
she took her squared number
So
and
did your
added one and
numbers ever
subtracted
even
one
work?
to
Your
it.
numbers couldn't have.
No, it did, because I took my square, so I took 2 and I squared
Right.
it to get
Okay.
4. And then I took 4
And then you
minus
did-
1 and 4 plus 1.
Okay.
So I took 3 and
Oh, I
5,
see.
took the
Okay.
product, I got 15, 4 squared then, so I went
Right.
back to my
Still
original
Okay.
number,
There's a
squared it again, I
possibility,
got
yeah.
16 to.
Okay.
There is, I would love to explore that situation to see if there's a pattern there.
Could do- Well,
But, look, I'm sorry, I've taken.
Sorry, I like to
My,
digress when I
yeah,
think.
and I am probably, what's the word I just found all over the place? What, yeah, adult onset. Yeah, out on tangents. Let's let Jenny finish.
Okay. Oh. What just happened?
Just flip back
Just
the slide.
switched.
So go forward a slide.
Just go forward.
Yeah.
No.
One more.
We had added, when we added.
No, we
one.
were in a
Oh,
different.
no, yeah, now we're to a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
It was
I
a
don't know
different-
how picking up the eraser could be back here.
I told you, these are not
Apparently it
smart boards.
What if you hit the
Not quite
undo
dumb,
button?
but not quite smart.
On the left-hand side, the very bottom one.
Yeah, I know.
And I use this every day, but.
Well, the thing is, this one.
Of course, I go to this one and it's
It's a little
unfamiliar.
different,
Yeah.
Well, it won't, I think you have to only have one thing in your hand at a time. That's why
Oh.
those you have to put
Oh.
down the eraser.
Set it down
Oh,
before
it's
you
not,
put
that's
it
not the
down.
case with
okay.
me. I usually
No.
have 3 pens and an eraser in my hand at the same time.
I told you, we're not
Okay.
quite the smartest boards here.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I'm having a heart attack here.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah,
you
I
didn't,
don't like arrows.
you didn't say
No.
the word.
Oh, I can't foil it.
I'm not.
Foil.
she's not foiling, she's
I'm not. I'm
distributing.
No,
distributing.
she's distributing.
I don't
She's
even
right.
see an equation. Should I be looking for an equation?
It's an expression.
We could do it
Oh,
at the end.
You can
oh, okay.
multiply an
You wanna wait till the
expression.
end?
We could do it at the end as
Yes, you can
equation.
multiply an expression, I know that, but
Okay.
I'm thinking, what are you doing here?
She might have wrote it.
I'm
in-
trying to simplify
Wrote
it.
it in words, what her theory was.
Oh,
Her theory
okay.
was,
And if we had gotten those words,
then I think.
See, and that's why we should have let her finish.
yes. And I'm guilty, I'm the guilty party. So,
That's why the, oh gosh, how do you say it? The result of multiplying the number that is one greater and one less than the number that you squared is always that number squared minus one.
and that proves that.
Yeah.
Yes.
For any number x.
For any number.
She didn't divide by X.
I didn't divide by
Oh,
zero.
you didn't divide by zero, yes. I'm just
Now how do I
not
do that?
convinced.
Oh, that's a good
I'd like to
I
see
think it's a
this
PowerPoint,
another
isn't
way.
it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, I'm not picking on you, I'm just thinking of the things we have to think about as teachers. You know, when we've
Yeah,
got
most
kids
kids wouldn't do that.
who don't, you know, who just aren't following those steps at all and aren't convinced
We
that
can
that
draw that
proves
out.
anything. How could we draw that out? In fact, the next part of this is to have you find a different way to prove this. Prove this using a different model than a symbolic model. And to that end, we brought our square tiles, which we'll share with you. We had in mind that that might be helpful. Graph paper could be helpful, maybe, or just drawing if you want. I'm just gonna open these and
Sure.
dump these out somewhere. Want some graph paper?
Do you need to get up and move a little bit?
Oh, you may need to get up and
Why don't you dump them on that,
Oh,
Thank you.
and I don't wanna force these on you, but,
No, of course not.
okay.
Of course.
Here goes.
I need to work with someone from the high school. This is a piece
I think
that
that
I
is a
need.
lovely idea.
I need-
Why,
I
since we're
wanna
3 and
s-
3, let's just do that. Let's just, if
Could
you
someone
wanna
show me how to
move
use
and work with
algebra
someone from the high
tiles
school, that would be
correctly
great.
and well?
well,
I don't know how to do it with a
These
negative
are-
number, though. I've never used a negative number.
I don't think you need to.
Isn't it the red tiles?
Beautiful.
No,
But
these
these
aren't
are-
algebra tiles,
Oh, these are just
color
square tiles,
Square
yeah.
tiles,
I was thinking of the, I don't know, never mind. Yeah, sit down.
We'll get to those algebra tiles.
Oh, good. Because I need someone to teach me how to use those.
I don't know if I've given you
I
enough,
know.
so.
You want like all the
When it comes, I'm gonna
stages?
sit right next to you again.
I want you to show me something, if you can figure it out, I'm not sure if I figured it out myself. If you can figure out a way to show me why this relationship holds in a non-symbolic way. And that may be partially using the materials and partially via your description.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's start with